Here we go.
Went through pain, hard days I would change. It's the reason I'm still in the game. It's the reason I'm stacking this chain. It's the reason I'm chasing this rain. It's the reason I'm still in my lane. It's the reason I'm never gonna change my heart of the game.
Alright. We're just gonna have to share my screen. Then we're in. Then we're set for indeed life. We're set. Once it goes right, we're just gonna start it. Browns at Texans. Here we go. These teams are the only teams right now that are 0-0. Okay. The Cleveland Browns and the Texans. Can I turn up the audio? Just again. Is there a way to like? Is there a way to turn down the commentators? Because I don't want to hear these commentators. I don't want to hear. I don't care. I don't want to. I do not want to hear them. So I know we're supposed to be going live and all, but I don't want to hear these commentators. They're annoying. So we're going to turn them down. The settings. I assume volume control. In-game commentary. I do not want that. No. What? No. Said no. Now, ladies and gentlemen, now we're starting Browns and Texans. Here we go. Browns at Texans. The only teams that are 0-0 so far. They have 2 games against each other in the same week to get, their record like every other team because they did not play last week. And all the other teams are playing this week. So the Browns and Texans are going to have 2 games this week for week 2. I'm pretty sure one's this Thursday, maybe Saturday or something. I don't remember, to be honest. But here we go. As a commentator, not a fan of the Browns nor the Texans, I'm going to say, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have the Browns on this one. I think the Browns are going to win this game and maybe get themselves a little treat going into, week 2 standings. It is only week 2, but once week 10 starts, that's eliminations. So we're getting closer a bit to the eliminations, and Browns versus Texans is happening. As you can see, we're just getting a little takeoff warms ups here before the game. Okay, gotta kick it over. Number 7. So the Texans getting the ball in their home of Houston. The Cleveland Browns kicking it over. I have the Browns on this one. The Texans running it on. Ooh, Browns, get in there. Here we go. So we got a bit of yardage. I think we should have took the knee there, but they didn't take a knee. They ran it. Here we go. Here's Rhodes. This Rhodes dude. Number 7 for the Texans. QB. And he's going to throw it, which is, incomplete. 2nd and 10. This is the first game on Monday Night Football, Week 2. The first game of Week 2. They are 0-0. The Texans and the Browns playing for the first time in FOF. Here we go. Gonna go ahead. Running it all the way into the end zone. Is it going to be into the end zone? And it is into the end zone. Price. Not Pierce, I mean Price. Price. Number 26. Scoring a touchdown. As you can see right there. I mean, that was pretty impressive right there. He almost got tackled a few times, but, his teammates had his back, and that is what led to this good game. He pushed that dude off, and the QB he made a good choice, giving it to his running back. So I guess the Texans do have a good running back. We haven't really seen good running backs in FOF so far. So glad to see a full good running back. I mean, it is week 2, so the week 1 jitters have gone away, and now people are locked in. For the Browns and Texans, this is their week 1 jitters because they have not played a single game. They're gonna have 2 games in the same week against each other twice this week because they won't have the same record as everyone else. They have to have games at the same time, and that's the Browns and Texans schedule for week 2. They have 2 games in the same week. So they have the week 1 jitters, and then come Thursday or whenever it is, I already forgot the schedule, then that's when that week 1 jitters go away. Because this is week 2, but for them it's week 1. They still got their jitters. If I say jitters one more time, I'm gonna crash it. Here we go. I did forget to change the thumbnail, by the way. So we're gonna have to change that after the live to the Browns versus Texans because I forgot to change it completely. That is completely my bad. Yeah, I'll have both. I had to balance both of them. I'll do Thursday night football. I'll do the Thursday football in the morning. Thursday show. I can do it. It ain't that hard. I like busy schedules. I have nothing to do all day. This is fun. That's why I started the whole football thing and the wrestling thing. I have nothing to do any other day. So Monday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. My dreams. Here we go. It is 7-0 still. The Browns. The Browns. I'm rooting for the Browns. And they are doing bad. It's 7-0. Texans winning in Houston right now. But never say never. There could be a comeback here in Houston. I mean, we haven't seen comebacks so far in the games, really. The Bills and Patriots were the closest thing, I guess. But the Bills won, and it like they weren't really sweeping the Texans like they were doing with like the Cowboys were doing with the Eagles, or what the freaking Saints were doing to the Lions. They, we have not seen a true fully comeback. So if the Houston Texans keep scoring touchdowns and then the Browns catch up pretty late, then that will be pretty good. And it'll be basically making history. There's not been comebacks really. They can't touchdown now. It's not really a comeback because they're only winning by one touchdown. Texans. But the QB just got picked up and slammed down. That SQB could be good if he tried. I don't think he's really trying very well, and that is the problem here with this QB. It is 7-0. As you can see here. Throwing it pretty shortly. I mean, it makes sense. You got that first down now that you threw it shortly. You want to throw it short. But if you threw it too long, then it would be, not a first down. You want the first down. You don't want to try to risk everything. You would want to get a first down, maybe extra yardage, and then that's what you want. Obviously, touchdowns are good, but you don't want to risk anything when you're third and fourth down. It's second and down, and the Browns got to be thinking what they need to do because they are losing right now. And if they want to tie up this game, then they have to try pretty hard. So the Texans defense is going to try extra hard because this is in their hometown. This is in Houston. And if the Texans want to win in Houston, then they can. If they try hard enough, I don't think the Texans are trying very hard, but the Browns aren't either, and that's why they're probably going to be the worst people in the standings after week 2, because even if it's a pretty good game, you still got good other teams that are actually pretty good, that are better than the Texans and better than the Browns. I don't want to be talking smack to the Browns or Texans, who could very well maybe even win the first Super Bowl. But the issue is that if they're not going to try in week 2 because they didn't get a game in week 1, then when it comes to their second game in week 2 this week, then we're not going to expect very much, because week 10 you lose a game and you're out. You're out until next season, and that is not what the Browns nor the Texans want. Throwing it. Oh, and that's nice. We're liking that. We love that. We're loving that play. It's pretty good. We've gotten issues and issues and issues. The issues aren't what matters. If you're winning, then you're winning. It doesn't matter how you're winning. But that is a Browns touchdown. Didn't see much what happened, so please can we get a replay, because something lagged on the cameras and it was not very seeable what happened. I didn't pretty much see how it was into the end zone. Okay, so the ball did get into the end zone in some kind of way, making this 7-6, 0 seconds on the clock of the first. Gonna tie this game up, it looks like, and it is 7-7. The Browns have tied up the game, the Houston Texans and the Browns are tied. You see the score 7-7, pass plays 9-1, passing yards 45-0. We see all of that. We see all of that, and now the Browns are going to kick it over to the Texans. And if the Browns want to win this game, like I think they will, in Houston, then they have to try harder because you always do better, in my opinion, when you're home because you want to make the fans proud. And the Cowboys, that's why the Cowboys beat the Eagles in their home because they knew what's going to happen. We know how the Philly fans are, and since the Cowboys won, they were trying because when it's in the link, you're not beating them unless you try that hard. And when you're in your home, that makes sense because you have the home field advantage. You have the fans cheering you on, and that's the thing. I'll say it. I'll say it. Okay. Yeah. Come on. Intercept this. I shouldn't be picking favorites, but I kind of. Ooh, Texans got that. Yeah, I don't know why I'm picking favorites. Texans or Browns could win. I don't really care because I'm neither the fans, but I want Browns to. I don't think I've gotten a single prediction right because of those. I guessed Eagles, and I guessed Lions.
After this game, huh?
Lions or Packers.
After that, so after we that much minutes.
So after this game, I'm doing it. After this, the game after this is Lions. The game after this is Lions. After this, after this game, it was I know. Texans gonna snap it. They do. Throwing it. Texans caught it. Pretty well, doing pretty well here. You see the Texans and Browns arguing. I mean, they both very well want to go to the Super Bowl, and I don't blame them. I mean, this is the first season. And if you don't do good in the first season, then what does that say about you going into the second season? You got to be thinking. You got to be thinking hard when you go into another season. Because even if you don't win season one, you have to do well in season one to maybe even win the Super Bowl in season two. Because if you don't win in season one, then no one's gonna think highly of you in season two. If you don't do good in season one, no one's gonna think highly of you in season two either. That's gonna be the issue. If and there's still the draft that they could draft good players. They could have different people on their team, but that's not going to help because there's still some people you cannot draft, and that is the issue. There are only a few people that can stay on. And they're into the end. So that is his second touchdown of the game. 2 touchdowns for him. The only 2 touchdowns for the Texans to score was by the running back, Price, number 26. This dude is impressive. As we could see there, you see how impressive he is. And he's going to kick it over, it looks like. I mean, and he does. It is 14-7. It's good. We're in the Texans' home of Houston. And they got trying pretty hard now. I mean, because the Texans, are winning right now, even though it is a 1 touchdown lead. If the defense isn't intercepting and stuff, then the Texans are going to win. It's a pattern of touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Texans are going to win because the Texans had the first touchdown. So if it's in a pattern of Texans touchdown, Browns touchdown, Texans touchdown, Texans are most likely to win. The Browns got to change something with their defense and do better with their defense. Because if you want to win the game, then you got to do better. But the Texans defense, and also if they want to, stop it from being a close game, they got to do better. So both the defense need to do better because the offense is trying to hold up their game. The defense have not done any interceptions, really no sacks, if any sacks. So the issue with that is we do not want a pattern because if the Browns are going to want to win the game, then they're going to need to flip it over. They're going to need their defense to do better. Their offense still good, but not better than their defense. The defense needs to be the best on the team because you want to stop the other team's offense from getting a touchdown. That is what defense does, and that's why your defense needs to be good. That's why your defense needs to be better than your offense, but that is to catch it in the first and 10. Which is fine. First and 10. Ooh, and it looks like an injured Brown, the QB number 4. I said number 4. Number 4, Reed. Number 4, Reed. The QB for the Browns. Or that was an injury, so we're gonna replace him with the backup quarterback. I think that is the first QB injury. No, Jason was. Jason for Black Friday. Second and 7. So it looks like the Texans are doing well. They took my advice with the defense, but we got to get the Browns offense doing well. I mean, I know it always sucks that your starting QB got injured. That's a 2 warning, but like the starting QB got injured, and I know that's always bad, but you got to look past that. You have to. This is why your backup QB has to be training because at any given moment he could be on the field for real games. And there we go, caught right there. 102 total yards. I mean, then we see Allen right there, but then our team 2 tackles. So we're seeing some of these like plays, and we're looking back at it. There's no huddle, so that's something. The Texans snapping it. And it is the first and down. Stratton. But that doesn't help by a lot. I mean, that is still your like if he can't prove himself fully, then he will not be back on the field pretty much. I mean, it always sucks seeing a QB get injured, especially a starting QB. Oh, that is the second in inches. So we see, M. Stratton doing a pretty good job as QB. So it looks like I was wrong about talking, smack. But they still gotta do good. We gotta still prove ourselves because the Texans are winning and the Browns don't like that. If I was a Browns fan, then I'd be mad about that. Ooh, and timeout for the Browns. The Texans still in the lead. There's 30 seconds left of the first half, of the second quarter. This is about to be halftime, which is, the Texans are winning, but only by 1 touchdown with 1 kick. You could tie up the game, or you could do a 2-point after the touchdown and win the game for the Browns so far. we could see anything in 30 seconds, and there's still 30 seconds left, and it's not like they're far. They're pretty close, so we can get a touchdown here in the 30 seconds, and that's what we're getting. A Cleveland touchdown. Number 3 for the Cleveland Browns. Doing pretty well there. We always love touchdowns. I mean, the touchdown celebrations are so fun to see. I mean, when you're playing on that field, you gotta celebrate. This is why they celebrate, because I mean, it's pretty hard to catch a football when there are other dudes trying to get on top of you. And there's 14-13, taking it over to tie the game, it looks like, unless they do a fake, but I really doubt they will, and it is a kick. So that means it's a 14-14 point game with 28 seconds left. And this is what I was talking about earlier. If it's going to keep staying like this, I mean, the Texans are going to win, which is not what the Browns really want. But at the same time, I mean, they could be cooking something up that we don't know. I mean, the defense could have gotten better, or thinking and taking my advice. We never know what's going to happen, because the game's not over until, either it's obvious that it's a blowout, or that it's, the time ends. That's only when the game ends. It does not end right now. I mean, it's a tied game into the ending the first half, going into the second half, going into halftime. As you can see, all that stuff. 2nd and 10. So that looks like it is another pretty close, I guess, if you will. I don't think it's that far from getting any first and down. But you still gotta do better as, a defense, because you're gonna get these interceptions and stuff. And that is a first and down for the Houston Texans. 17 seconds left. Timeout for the Texans. Browns have 1 timeout left. The Texans have 2 timeouts left. Here we go, Texans. Snapping. Throwing it. Ooh. That was a bad throw. That was a bad throw for the Texans. I mean, the defense applying pressure. They're applying more pressure, which is good. I mean, after they play each other this time, when they play each other again pretty soon, as we will review the week 2 schedule and stuff for a halftime show, I mean, you see the 14-14, but like once you play again, they're going to. I feel like that game is going to be even more close, even more insane plays, because they already played each other. They know each other a bit more, because they played each other already pretty recently, just a few days. But because it's the first game, they're going to play each other in just a few days. So they're going to know each other better, and I think that's what's going to maybe even lead to someone else winning. Maybe if the Texans win this game, the Browns will win the next one, or it could be the Texans winning both, or the Browns winning both. Looking for a field goal. Is that good? And that wasn't in. Oh, that's 14-14 with 1 second left of the first half. Last play, going into the halftime, throwing it pretty deep. There was some kind of flag. Was it caught? Ooh, defense. Okay, field goal. Going for a field goal. The Browns might be in the lead here. And the Browns are in the lead going into halftime. Holy moly, guacamole. That was great. That was great. We're going to review a bit of the first, or I guess the second week. So, the week 2 games are what we're watching now: Browns versus Texans. The game after Browns versus Texans will be Packers versus Lions. The Lions losing to the Saints. Uh, freaking for Black Friday. Thursday night football: Eagles versus Giants. Cowboys versus Rams. Saturday night football: Browns versus Texans. The rematch to get them having 2 games like everyone else. Sunday night football, we have Patriots versus Jets, Bills versus Dolphins, Steelers versus Ravens, Colts versus Titans, Jaguars versus Chargers, 49ers versus Falcons, Seahawks versus Cardinals, Bucks versus Panthers, Commanders versus Saints, Broncos versus Raiders, Chiefs versus Vikings, Bengals versus Bears will be the last game of week 2. And then we got Patriots at Eagles, Bills at Cowboys. And the thing with that's week 3. We're reviewing a bit of week 3. And don't forget what week 3 is. Week 3 is AFC versus NFC and throwback week. So you will have your old jerseys, and it will be AFC versus NFC. It'll be week 3 and week 4 are the only weeks that are like that. For AFC and NFC, you will have a few alternate tires, throwback weeks for a few games. But these are the only NFC versus AFC to get a little familiar with each other in week 3 and week 4 before the Super Bowl. So that is week 3 and 4 a bit, just explaining that it's AFC and NFC. So you don't ask why Bills are going against the Cowboys in week 3 on Monday for Monday Night Football. So that's what we're doing there. We're doing that, and that's it. So we're after this game, it will be Packers versus Lions, and that's it from Monday Night Football of week 2. So let's get on to the second half, ladies and gentle. Okay, here we go. It is the third quarter with the Browns winning 17-14. I think the Browns will win this game, but you never know. I mean, one touchdown and the Texans are back in the lead. But I mean, winning by a field goal right now, which is now what the Texans want. So the Browns have improved like I needed to them to do, so I could be right. Uh, it'll be a shame losing in your hometown like we did in Philly in week 1. You do not want to lose in your home, and we're kicking it over. And, and here's what the Browns are going to do. The Browns are going to run, and they're going to get there. They're going to get a bit there, but they're not going to get so well. And now it's the Browns' ball, which isn't good for the Texans. It's not good for the Texans. That's not what the Texans want. Since it's the Browns' ball yet again, then you got 17-14. That's not good. That is not what you want. Because it's 17-14, and the Browns score a touchdown right here, then they're winning by a field goal and a touchdown, which is not for the Texans. I mean, it's not going to look good for the Browns. Or, I mean, it looks good for the Browns. It's not going to look good for the Texans. That's the issue. The Texans are not going to be as good as they want to be. But is that an issue? Is that an issue for the Texans? Do they have something cooking up that we don't know? We'll never know until the game is over what it's like and stuff, during the game and stuff. It's 17-14, but you still got a defense that could intercept, that could cost fumbles, that could cost sacks. You still got a defense for a reason. It's not like the offense is doing whatever they want, because that's what the defense is actually for. If you obviously, if you didn't know that, you're an idiot. And I would have ran it, but for some reason they didn't run it. They did not run it at all. I would have ran it with either my running back or my QB, but they didn't, making that 3rd and inches. I don't think I would have thrown it. I don't think that was a good idea. You're pretty close to 3rd and inches. You could have just ran it and probably got a first down instead of throwing it. Which, what are they going to do? Are they going to run it this time? They are going to run it, which is the safe idea if you want a 1st and 10, which you did get, got a 1st and 10. So you're going to keep trying that. You're not going to freak. I know you're winning, but you can't win and then give up. Even if it's a blowout, you gotta keep trying your best, because eventually you're gonna go against other teams, and it's not going to be as easy. You have to show that, oh yeah, I got this. I'm going to the Super Bowl. I'm winning the Super Bowl. And next season, I'll win the Super Bowl. I'm going to win every Super Bowl involved. You gotta have that mindset. You can't have the mindset of, oh, I'm winning, let me give up. Because there's always, even if it's pretty bad, some kind of, there's not always a chance of coming back. What I'm trying to say is there's always a chance for someone to get the revenge, whether if it's in the same season or the next season. So you don't want to brag about it, because eventually that person will remember your face. And when they do, and they try extra hard on you, don't come crying to me, because I tried to tell you guys that. And they're going to throw it, and it was caught. 1st and 10. It looks like Reed is back on the field, though, so that's good. We got the QB back. I just realized that. But, he did throw it. He's back. He got a leg injury going into the second quarter, or is in the second quarter, something like that. But he's back, and that's good for the Browns. You always want your starting quarterback to be on the field as soon as possible. So that when he was gone, that's bad. Okay, that was a flag. You don't like flags. It always makes it messy. Number 4, but Reed is gonna run it. But really got nowhere. Only got a 2nd and 13, which is not good whatsoever. When you're with the Browns and when you're the Texans, you gotta be wondering. You gotta be thinking. Okay, what do I do now? Where am I at now? What do I do? If you're losing right now, then the Texans gotta be thinking, because if the Browns score a touchdown, they're winning by not only a field goal, but they're winning by a touchdown as well. So that's a touchdown and a field goal. Right now, I mean, you're trying to prevent a touchdown from happening, so it's just by a field goal. That's what you want. You don't want anything else besides that. So we never know. We got a busy schedule for not only fall football, but fall showdown and the PLEs and stuff. And there it is. That is a cross touchdown. That means the Browns are now picking up more momentum, picking up steam. That is a touchdown for the Browns. That is a pretty good touchdown. That was a pretty good throw. You asked me. That it was a throw. If I've ever seen a throw, they caught that and they caught it pretty well. They caught it, making it 23-14. I mean, the third is almost over. We're going into the fourth, which I mean, it's been an interesting game. I mean, that's by not only a field goal, not only a touchdown, but by 1 point. That is 24-14. And yet again, even if you're winning, you don't want to rub it in and stop trying, make them look bad, and keep trying like they're the best. So when they remember your face, they're gonna remember, oh, you put me on the spot, made me look good by trying hard. Because if someone's trying hard against you, that means you're pretty hard to beat. But if they're going easy, that means you're easy to beat. They beat you every time that you guys fight. I mean, or go against each other, same difference. 24-14. I mean, the Browns are winnings right now, but I mean, the Texans could come back. Is the game is not like a pretty far reach. It is almost in the fourth quarter, yeah, but there's still like minutes left of the game, like 6 7 minutes left, 6 7. Here we go. That was interesting, but through it, getting it to a 1st and 10. Twenty-four 14. Texans losing right now, but that is a 1st and 10. Could have ran it all the way, but the defense getting on it. Ugh. Here we go. 6 minutes left of this game. Running and that is a 1st and 10. 24-14. You know, the Texans did get a 1st and 10. They are excited. They're cheering. They are getting ready to win even more, and that is good. That you want to win. You want to try hard and be unexpected. You don't want to try, like a normal human being. You want to try pretty hard. And that is a 4th and 7. And normally what happens is it kicks it over to the Browns. That means, the Browns could have more chances to win. I give a Texans running back a compliment early, and now I'm kind of wanting to take that compliment back. I mean, got 2 touchdowns, but that was the only 2 touchdowns for the Texans. And I mean, he has not done good since those 2 touchdowns in the first and second quarter. And that is maybe a field goal. Yeah, that was a field goal. Make it 24-17 now. And running. Okay, I would have took the knee there, but whatever. 1st and 10. 24-17. Here we got the Browns. Nice job at the Browns, 24-17 still. Browns winning this, which, not good for the Texans fans. You don't want to win. You want to win. You don't want to lose. That's the problem. You don't want to lose pretty early. You want to win this game. And this is their first game. They're 0-0, even though it's week 2. Because that's why they have 2 games here in week 2. But the thing is, you don't want to lose your first game because that's not look good on you. I know almost everyone has, like, half people on the FOF team has lost a game, but that's not what they want. Half Everyone wants to win their first game, but that's impossible. Someone has to win, and that's the issue. I mean, no one likes losing their first game. That's pretty bad, but that is the second 3 by the Browns. Browns running back starting to get better. He looks a little hurt, but I think he might be fine. Yeah, he seems to be fine. He looked a little hurt. It's a different camera angle here. 2-minute warning. 24 for the Texans. 17 or 24 for the Browns. 17 for the Texans. I got my teams mixed up. 24-17. Here we go, snapping it. Give it to the running back for the 1st and down, maybe? No, 3rd and 2. With about a minute left. Throwing it. Ooh, 4th and 3. Texans fans on that. They could tie up the game. That is realistic. There is a minute and 54 seconds left. Oh, wait, they're not kicking it over. Normally that's what happens, but they changed. They're not doing it. Okay, no, it's a Texas ball. If they get a touchdown in 1 point, they could tie up the game. If they get 2 points, they can, get the game won. I mean, this is a pretty close game. This is probably the most interesting game I watched. This is the most interesting game I've watched so far. Even though I'm yawning. So interesting. 24-17. I mean, now the Texans had the ball. It's an interesting game right now. Most interesting game in FOF so far, in my opinion. All the other games have been pretty much blowouts, pretty bad blowouts. This game right here, this one's interesting. It was kind of like Bills versus Patriots. I mean, that was a pretty fun game to watch. This game might be a little better than that, though. I mean, it's been pretty fun to watch. Having the Browns lose that first and then start picking up the win. Oh. Ooh, threw it. 4th and 8, though. For the Texans, that's not good. I mean, you're trying to get a touchdown and then maybe a kick to tie up the game. I mean, if this goes in overtime, that's the first game to go into overtime. Which will be an interesting if that happens. I've always wanted the game. I was rooting for the Patriots and Bills to go into overtime. It didn't. I want an overtime game pretty early. I want to show we need distance, and that's what the Texans are doing. If the Texans win this game right here, or if the Texans score a touchdown, then it's going into overtime. I can probably guarantee it if they get a kick. But they could do a 2-point and then probably win the game. I seriously want it to go into overtime. These teams could make history. And it's a 2nd and 10. Hitting the ball over, it's a minute 6 seconds. They gotta try pretty hard. I mean, you guys gotta be doing what you guys are doing pretty early into the game in the first half, because if you want to score a touchdown, make it go into overtime, then you guys gotta be doing it. It's 24-17. Throwing it short, and that's not what you want. That's 3rd and 6. The minute and 1 second left of the 4th. Once the 4th is over, then the game is over, unless it can go over the overtime. That's what the Texans want. Or maybe you can try to win without going to overtime. They can intercept or something. I doubt it. I mean, I don't think it's going to overtime, and I think it's going to be the Browns win anyway, which I guess they're right. I mean, pretty sure the Browns are winning. They're winning right now, though. They're going to throw it or throw it away. They're going to throw it away. 4th and 6, and it looks like the Browns are winning. I mean, if they don't, they might try a field goal. Browns are winning. No, wait, they're gonna try to get a 1st and down. We know what happened with the Browns that did that. I don't think they got a 1st and down. Might have. And they caught it. 1st and 10. 50 seconds left. 47 seconds left. 46, 45, 44, 43. We're getting close. We're getting closer. We're getting closer. $23, $22, 20 seconds. There is timeout. That was the last timeout for the Houston Texans. 24-17. That's not good. 20 seconds left. They gotta be thinking. They gotta be thinking about strategy right now, because there's 20 seconds left, and in order to make it go into overtime, you gotta score a touchdown here to even do a kick, or maybe a 2-point to win the game. I mean, the Texans might lose this because they gotta be. Oh, they threw it away, and that's gonna be a Browns win with 15 seconds left on the clock. I'm assuming it's gonna be a Browns win. And, you know, it could be impressive with some random touchdown here, but I'm pretty sure the Browns are gonna win. That is a Browns win, and that means it's the Browns 1-0. Texans are 0-1. And threw it away yet again. 4th and 7. Browns have won the game. It's 11 seconds. left. They're gonna try to do something. I don't know what you guys is gonna do. You guys threw it away the last few plays that could have got you first and downs and closer to a touchdown. But unless this is a catch, it was a catch, but not into the end zone. I mean, the Browns win. They caught it, not into the end zone. Browns have won the game. What that means, and the Browns have won the game officially. Pretty close into overtime, like the Bills and Patriots, where Texans are not happy about that one. But the Browns are. The Browns gotta be happy about this one. Texans losing in their home, just like the Eagles did. Not good for the Texans. But it's good for the the Cleveland Browns, not the Houston Browns. That is it for this game. We'll see you later for Lions, Packers. Soon.